Located at the center of district Pishin in the northeast of Quetta, Union Council Road Malazay has remained a major contributor in apple production of Pakistan for the last 30 years. The area consists of 6 villages covering 52 kilis with a population of 14,319 persons. Livestock and agriculture are the main income sources for these hard-working people. People had been practicing subsistence farming for centuries. However, they shifted to commercial farming, resulting in high delta crops with provision of water on subsidized rates. Agricultural products including onions and apples were the main sources of income in the area. A number of people were employed in harvesting, picking and dumping of these products. People enjoyed new sunrises and splendors of a glorious life. On the verge of an apparently sustained society, it was the outbreak of drought in 1998 that started it all. The drought was another problem which brought everlasting worries for the people of the province. The ecosystem of these areas was totally disrupted. Centuries-old Karis system completely collapsed, resulting in more than 90% of the population being cut off from the supply of water for domestic and agriculture use. Earthen reservoirs were another source of irrigation water, which also dried due to the long dry spell. Thousands of acres of rangeland dried, and crops worth billions of rupees were destroyed in just one but deadly sting of drought. Shortage of water severely affected the agriculture production, and around 70% of orchards dried up. Annual income decreased from 80 million to 10 million rupees.
أقبل بعدي سمعت كم ساعة رسولة ذات بتنزل لكو إشبتو زور في بوري موجودات فويس داكشني بتشي أو داكشني لور أو دازه مطلب داجي سمين سبا دشفان فوبو ناقاريم سي كمان فويس يزم مطلب ذي هو البداخبل وبو مطلب ذا بتشان دفار دبوش ورو أو بخبل ذا دكتور أو دغا بدغا بوري ناقاريم.
Supply of water through tankers from other areas became the last frontier. This water is scarce enough to be used just for survival of trees. These poor people did their best to keep the trees alive through transportation of water, but all efforts went in vain. Women and children had to walk miles on tough terrain to fetch water for their survival. Even children help fill household containers with water.
Yeah, the people are dependent on the tractor imported water. And the village is facing drinking water problem from the last 2 to 3 years. Their shallow wells have been gone dried and their hand pumps have been gone dried. So they are dependent on the tractor imported water.
With no other alternative left, it did not take long to decide for migration. Around 5% of the area's population migrated to other parts of the province for their survival. Devastations of the drought were reflected in local poetry. People begged for mercy from Allah. Fate smiled, and the miseries of these people finally ended with the dawn of a new day. A task force was formulated comprising of representatives from MOSAS, Taraqi Foundation, and representatives from Line Department for monitoring and facilitating infrastructure schemes.
دا ټاسک فورس چې جوړ سولې له هغه بعد چې کوم د پراجکټ آغاز وسولې نو بیا باقاعده پر هغه کې څو دانې ډیمان وو چې پر هغه باندې کار کېدلی هغه زموږ د ټاسک فورس ذمهواري وه چې د هغه دپاره به موږ هغه د کمیونټي کنټریبیوشن چې 20% دی هغه به موږ په څه طریقه باندې راټولولی په کومه طریقه باندې له خلکو سره به م رابطې ساتلې هغه خو زموږ ذمهواري وه کوم کشني کشني سکیمان چې وو چې په علاقه کې چینلس و ریزروایرس ولی واټر سپلایز ولا یا نور د اتراکشن کشني سکیمونو پلټ پروټیکشن وغیره ډګویل دا یا کشني کشني بورونه هغه چې وو هغه بیا د کلي خلکو کشني کشني نور تنظیمان جوړ کړل.
Several trainings of farmer groups were conducted on social and technical issues. The project also educated the farming community in better water management technologies such as trickle, bubbler irrigation, etc. through on-farm trainings. Taraqi's team, on the other hand, is still striving for other sustainable solutions to the miseries of the people of Rod Malazay Valley. Self-help remains a key strategy in all of the Foundation's activities. People were mobilized to contribute in infrastructure schemes. In a short duration, Taraqi and people of Rod Malazay have constructed water reservoirs, hand pumps and water channels. Infrastructure schemes also include flood protection walls, delay action dams, and other spate irrigation technologies.
Implementation phase of the Rod Malazay pilot project started in July 2003. Before that, NASPAC, a renowned engineering firm, carried out a detailed technical investigation of the area. That mainly consisted of water budgeting for the dry and wet seasons. Another important feature of that investigation was the GIS models of agriculture, watershed and rangelands that provided a firm basis for the planning and design of the project.
All these activities have been made possible with the significant financial contributions from the World Bank and Pakistan Poverty Alleviation Fund, which is also one of the masterminds behind the Rod Malazai drought mitigation project.
I'm very pleased here to visit this site, and a lot of progress has been made. The dam is in the final stages of completion. Rod Malazai is the pioneering pilot project of the drought mitigation and preparedness program of PPAF. These delay action dams are extremely important because in the drought conditions they provide the much needed water which recharges the Karaizes.
او چې څومره کارونه دوی دلته ایستلي دي بل چا نه دي ایستلي نو موږ د دوی ډېر شکرګزاره یو دا چینل 2500 فوټ دی په دې کې 1,06,000 روپۍ د کلیوالا جمع کړي دي په کور یې ټولې کړي دي بقایا پیسې چې دي هغه ترقي فاونډیشن والا ورکړي دي نو دا چینل اوس فاینل ته رسېږي تقریبا 2.5 فوټه بقایا دي.
Karai's channel lining was also accomplished, which includes both construction and extension of original routed channels. The project in its efforts tried to make efficient use of increased quantities of irrigation water to minimize the application losses through improvement of existing water courses.
The social workers of Taraqi Foundation, they worked day and night to organize the communities, and they took community through a very democratic process for a formulation of a major task force at the Union Council level. And this task force, which is comprised of the Union Council Nazim, Naib Nazim, and elected representatives from at the Moza level. And actually this number of task force members, they were elected out of 52 villages, and it was a very democratic process, and out of that process this task force was elected, and now they are really owning this project. This is a project in which I can see realization of the Taraqi's vision, which is prosperous and enlightened society. And I hope when this project, similar project, will be replicated at the country level, there will be a lot to learn and there will be a lot to replicate.
The storage capacity is also increased by deepening and widening of reservoirs. Paying for what others have done, the new generation is highly sensitized about the water shortage and is struggling to protect the remaining drops to survive in future.
The